Welcome back to another episode of Trash Talk. I'm Jon-Bernard. This is Nick. We are the K-Roos brothers bringing you the fight news around the world. Today, we have a very special guest, Beneil Dariush here in Chicago. Benny, thank you for joining us.
Pleasure, brother. Thank you for having me.
Now, firstly, how's Chicago treating you? What do we have to do in Chicago? Because it's our first time here. We're kind of rookies.
All right, so deep dish is a must. You got to go see the little shiny bean.
I saw that, downtown.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then,
what is it?
It's like in the middle of, it's just like this.
It's a great question.
Yeah, it's just like a weird art thing. It's like
art.
Yeah,
but it's cool.
But you got to see it? Yeah.
I saw it on TikTok.
Let's see. So deep dish that. You got to go find some beef. They got some cool beef. It's like Al's. I think Al's has a good spot. And there's the original Porto's is here.
Okay.
So these are the spots that I can think of right off the top of my head. You got to go to.
Oh, we'll put them on the list. Now, it's heavily debated online. Who's the nicest UFC fighter? Is Beneil Dariush the nicest UFC fighter in person?
I don't know about that, bro. No, it was probably Wonder Boy.
You reckon?
Yeah, I think he's way
He's very
nicer.
nice. Like he doesn't have a bad word to say about anybody.
He's not late.
Yeah. Actually, maybe he is. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
Do you have that reputation though? Man, like, I almost don't want to hurt him. Is that nice?
Yeah, I don't know about that. No, they definitely want to hurt me.
Yeah.
They know when they're out, I'm going to try to kill them.
Because on Twitter, that's where it's like most active, especially like leading up to the last fight against Moicano. Everyone's like, man, I don't want Beneil to lose. I like him so much, or like he's such a nice guy. Like it's
That's weird because Twitter is normally the worst.
Yeah. In terms of
Twitter, I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
thanks, Twitter. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Now, I mean, you're very proud about your Assyrian heritage. Apparently, there's a lot of Assyrians in Chicago. What does it mean to you to be an Assyrian athlete?
It's cool, man. Because there's not a lot of us, so we are a close community. And then my fights, for whatever reason, the people love. You got to understand, like Assyrians, typically, like you got to go to school. You get like this awesome degree, and you're a doctor and whatever. And then your parents are like, "This is my son."
Oh, you're basically Asian.
They're stoked about it.
Very strict ethnic parents.
Yeah. So I went the wrong direction, and I thought I was just going to be the black sheep of the family for the rest of my life, but for whatever reason, the Syrian community was like, "You fight? We love you.
They're taking you
we
in.
love you even more. It's all good.
You're their warrior.
Forget about the college degree. Forget about all that stuff. We still love you." And so it's been just awesome, man. They've embraced me more than I expected. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, there's approximately, I think, 80,000 Assyrians in Chicago.
That's what Wikipedia said. I don't know.
Yeah,
If
but
that's accurate.
have you ever been to Australia? Massive Assyrian community there.
I've been to Melbourne. There was a lot there.
They run Melbourne.
They run Melbourne.
The word in Australia is Assyrians run Melbourne.
Yeah, they might. I believe it. But my goal is two places. I want to fight here, and I want to fight in Australia. Those are my two goals. Like before I retire.
I'm here in February. Maybe we can see you in February. Yeah, Sydney, February.
I would consider it genuinely.
Let's go.
And then what? The last Chicago card was 2019. So will you still be fighting maybe in what 2028? 2020?
I don't know about that. Maybe we can expedite the process and tell the UFC to come back sooner.
Yeah, the crowd was going nuts last night at the press conference. I think they definitely need more Chicago cards because the crowd definitely came out. But I want to ask you about, your path to a title, because in your post-match press conference after you said, I have one desire, and that's to win a world title. Yeah. What is your path to the title?
Right now, I think the ideal opponent would either be it's either Dan Hooker or Patty. Those are the only two guys that are close to me in ranks.
Mm-hmm.
That would, I think, are available for fights. And then after that, I could either go for the title shot or look for a #1 contender fight. I think that's the fastest way to a title, but we'll see what we get.
Because the lightweight rankings are very messy right now. Paddy wants a title shot already. Justin Gaethje's holding out for a title shot. Arman is in limbo. Does he get a title shot? Does he not get a title shot? So it's like if you do win, you could join that conversation. Is that how you see it?
Yeah, exactly. Well, if I win one more fight, like you guys said, it's so like everybody wants a title shot. But if I win, I think I can at least get a #1 contender fight. And you know what I mean? So I'm hoping I can jump back in and fight in November, December, and then find a #1 contender fight. That's the most realistic. But if they give me somebody and I, have a great performance, maybe I'll be the number one contender.
Well, Paddy has called you out before and said he'd love to fight you, and that's his path to a title. And like you said, you're very much up there. But I want to ask you about the state of the lightweight division because, like you said, Justin Gaethje wants a title shot. Yeah. Arman's been waiting on the sidelines for a bit. Who do you think is the next title contender for Ilia Topuria?
I mean, it's hard to deny Arman, right? I feel like he did everything he was supposed to. He beat Charles.
Except make weight.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
You know what? Yeah, you're right. But then for
he was back up.
He was back up, and he made weight, so kind of
makes up for it.
I guess. I would say Arman should be the number one contender, but at the same time, the UFC and Ilia will do whatever they want. Paddy, I think, is the one Ilia wants most, but I don't think
doesn't deserve it as such.
It's not just that. If I'm the UFC and I know this guy Ilia might be moving around somewhere, let's chill a little bit and hopefully we can get an easier fight, basically, for Paddy to be a champion. That's kind of my thought process. If they want him to be champion, maybe they actually have him avoid Ilia until the right time. But I don't know. I could be wrong.
Out of those three, but Arman, Paddy, Justin, who has the best chance against Ilia?
Good question.
But I feel like Gaethje would go very similar to how Charles went, just a striker. Arman maybe because he's a wrestler, but then Paddy, I just feel like maybe he's a wild card. But again, I feel like Ilia would probably be too strong.
Yeah, Justin, when he's not being over aggressive and he's genuinely respects his opponent, he has very good footwork. So he's actually difficult to deal with. But if that Justin shows up, I think it's actually a competitive fight. It's a very competitive fight. Arman, I think in general, I would say he's the top of the list, and Paddy, I would say he would be a big underdog. I would have him like at a 5-1 underdog, something like that. So Paddy, I don't think he's got the best chances. That's why I think the UFC is like, well, if Ilia is gonna move around, let's save our golden goose or whatever you call him for another guy to fight.
Well, like you said, Dan Hooker said he's not medically cleared till November, so that kind of makes sense for you if you want to fight in November. So I want to ask you, if you were booking it, if you were Dana White and you were Hunter, how would you book the lightweight division from now? So you want to fight in November, what else? How would you book out the rest of the year for fights?
Shoot, I mean, if I had the privilege of that, I would just fight Arman myself.
Yeah.
I could avenge my loss. I can avenge my loss and be the number one contender. I would have Justin. I guess, I don't know if I would give him a title shot, but I would have Ilia fight whoever Ilia wants, so it's probably end up being Paddy. And then, who's left for Justin? Oh, Dan Hooker. There you go.
There you go.
And that was probably supposed to happen before he broke his hand.
Anyways, and the winner can be the number one contender.
I like it. That makes a lot of sense. Hey, Dana Hunter, maybe we got a job here for Benny.
Yeah.
No. But I recall you broke some fight news last time and it went pretty viral. You said you were here and it was Dustin and Max. You like to break some fight news. So have there been any talks and whispers on when your next fight is, or can you break any fight news for us?
Dang, I didn't even know I did that.
Yeah.
But bro, the Dustin and Max thing, like we saw that coming like a year ago. Shoot, is there anything that I know? Come on.
You hearing anything upstairs in the lobby with all the fighters walking around?
No.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
No, that's fine.
But if I have something, I'll message you.
Okay, yeah. We'll keep a line of communication open.
We'll keep our sources anonymous.
As someone that has lost in the UFC and gone on to avenge losses, Charles Oliveira has taken a fight 6 weeks after being knocked out by Ilia. Do you think that is smart from his team and Charles?
Genuinely, no. I think they offered him so much money he couldn't say no.
Really?
Because he knows it's not smart, and he's not a dumb guy. He's an intelligent guy, and I just think they offered him so much money, and he's like, man, I got kids. I got, I'm about to retire or whatever he is. I don't know. Yeah. And he's like, let's just do this.
Do you think it's because it was in Brazil
they
needed a main event for Brazil that played a big factor?
100%. They needed Charles or someone like Charles, and there's not a lot of Brazilians left like Charles anymore. Lightweight division's kind of not just lightweight, but there's other divisions as well, but we are getting like all. You're getting the old guard, and they're not trying to. They're not leaving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think lightweight division. A lot of the better guys are outside of the top 10 right now.
Well, Charles Oliveira, I think, went viral earlier this week. He was calling out basically everyone in the lightweight division, saying everyone ranked really didn't want to face him, having to go at Dan Hooker. And then I don't know if they said they offered you the fight, but he said they basically offered everyone the fight, and they only landed on Fiziev. That's why he's fighting Fiziev. Did they offer you the fight or no? Charles maybe.
No, they did not. I would love that fight. I would have taken that fight in a heartbeat.
Yeah, there you go. Now, I mean, like you said, it is a lot of the old heads, the old guard in the lightweight division that, can't seem to leave the rankings, and that's credit to them. What are your thoughts on Islam going up, and how do you like his chances against a guy like Jack Della Maddalena?
After watching him with Belal, because, man, Belal is good. I know people don't like to give him a lot of respect, but Belal is really good. I think Jack has a very good shot. I would probably put him as the favorite.
Well, he should be because he's bigger, he's a champion.
His scramble was good against Belal.
He looked very good. And, in my opinion, where I've seen the biggest chink in Makhachev's armor has always been in his conditioning. He tends to slow down. I think he'll have that probably fixed at 170 because he doesn't have to catch so much weight. But that was always the chink that I saw in his armor. So we'll see how this fight goes. But I do favor Jack.
When we spoke to Volk about Ilya going up and facing Charles, he said, look, he probably spars people that are heavier than him, and his punching power does remain the same as he goes up in weight. Will that be the same for Islam? That's what I'm saying. Is that jump from featherweight to lightweight much easier than lightweight to welterweight?
I think so. It's a 10 pounds and 15 pound difference. I think that's a big difference. So I actually I think it's gonna show. It's gonna show in this size. Whenever I've seen a lightweight go to 170, unless they're huge and they can't make lightweight anymore, it typically shows. So I think Ilya going to 155 is a little bit different. But to be honest, man, he looks small for 55.
He did look very small.
He looks small, and the way he fights, he's great, man. So I think skill is gonna be a big indicator of who wins, and Makhachev has the skills, don't get me wrong. I think so does Jack.
Do you, when you're sparring though, do you spar welterweights or people that are bigger than you?
Yeah, I have a few welterweights, like Urush is in my gym. I have Nikolai in my gym. I'm trying to think. There's a bunch of 170 guys in my gym, so sometimes I end up with more of those guys than I do my own weight guys.
And you feel the difference though? Like you feel that extra weight?
Absolutely. Yeah. Like if I do 5 rounds and I get mostly big guys, you can feel how much more tired you get. And the other thing is, you can't do it all week. It just ruins your body, even if you're young. I remember Marvin Marvin and I would train together all the time. And Marvin loves to train, and there's nobody else to train for me, so I would just train with Marvin all the time. And come Wednesday, I was done. I was like, bro, I'm toast. And then Marvin's like, come on, bro, we gotta train. I was like, bro, go find somebody else. You're too big.
Too big.
Staying on Islam, there was obviously after Moicano went in on short notice instead of you did come out and say you would have done a better job than what Moicano did. Did beating Moicano kind of give you vindication? Because people were kind of coming at you for saying that.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. Moicano, great striker. He's gotten so much better with his distance and managing distance and improved in his striking. But his wrestling did not feel good at all. I don't think there was a shot I took that I didn't get. So if that's the case, like, how is he going to defend against a guy like Makhachev? And then
And it showed really. His first round was done.
Yeah, and I feel I have much better defensive wrestling. I'm much better at getting up. So I think that alone stylistically makes me a much more difficult fight for Islam. So anyways, those are the things I was thinking about. But I don't care what people say. These guys are couch quarterbacks. Their opinions mean nothing to me.
Well, when you fought Moicano last at the presser, he said there's only room for one old man in the UFC.
Oh.
Now, you are that old man now. Do you want to take that up with the UFC and maybe get Moicano cut if you can be the last old man standing?
No. I think I'd like to see him fight Chandler.
Okay, that fight makes sense.
That's the real old man right there.
That's going to be like an I quit match, loser retires.
Yeah, because I feel young, bro. I'm feeling young. But yeah, I think that's the one that you got to do, and then you say, loser retires or something like that.
I mean, how does it feel being branded the old man in the UFC and really, like, how much longer do you see your career going in the UFC?
Bro, that's a great question because, when I was younger, I didn't even think I was going to make it this far. So, and now I'm 36, but I feel great. I'm training just as much as the young guys. I don't have issues. So I don't know. I don't have a clear answer to that. But I think what's going to happen is one day I'm going to walk into that octagon and I'm just going to be like, nah, I don't got it.
Not for me anymore.
I'll finish this fight up or whatever, and then I'll walk out of here, but I'm done.
People usually say that it's the training that is when you kind of call it. Like the fighting, you can always do it. You can go into the cage, but it's like the training camps and the weight cuts. That's what really takes a toll.
Weight cuts I can see, but training camps and training in general, that's where I hang out with my boys.
For you,
bro.
it's easy.
Okay, yeah.
That's where I get to talk shit to my boys. That's where I get to just beat up on my friends. So no, camps are typically super fun for me. It's just the weight cut that's difficult. And, besides that, I pretty much just take care of my kids. So it's like train hard, go take care of my kids. So training is my outlet. I get to be, somebody different.
Speaking of someone letting go of the UFC, Tony Ferguson. Now, he's taken a fight on Misfit Boxing. You know what that is? It's influencer boxing.
Yeah.
Now, you're probably, I think, one of his third losses in his 8-loss losing streak.
You're his third loss in his 8-loss losing streak.
Do you have any advice for Tony Ferguson, who's still clutching on and he's boxing over in influencer land?
Bro, when I was going with him, he landed a jab or something, and I was like, oh, this guy has really heavy hands. So I don't know who he's fighting, but
Salt Puppy. Ever heard of him?
I'm not.
Nah.
Is he an actual boxer?
Look, he can go. He can box. But look, I don't think he's like the level of a pro boxer.
Great,
you know what I mean?
Great. I hope Tony wrecks him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say Tony Tony needs to just be Tony. There's really nothing I can say about because trying to give Tony sound advice, technical advice, I don't think it's gonna work. The guy is a mess when he wins. That's how he wins. You don't know what he's doing. You don't know why he's doing it. So I figured just keep that same energy.
Okay, I like it. Now I kind of got a funny one for you.
Oh boy.
When you won a fight, I think it was 2023, and Joe Rogan asked you, who you want to call out. You said, Joe, I want to call out one of your friends, Elon Musk.
Oh yeah, Elon.
I want to get it. Where's my Tesla? I just got a daughter. He delivered on the Tesla?
He did. He let me drive a car for 6 months until my car showed up. It was the whole COVID time. I think it was 2021, and COVID was making things difficult. I got my car. It was really cool, and bro, I thought I was getting scammed.
Really?
Yeah, because I woke up and I'm getting like emails and I'm getting voice messages from Tesla, and I'm like, bro, this has to be a scam. My Twitter, my Instagram, everything's off because my wife's like, you got to spend time with me. I just spent the last 6 to 8 weeks, pregnant and following you around and doing whatever you want. I'm getting my time now. I was like, whatever. So I'm in the car and I think I'm in an Uber or something, and we're driving, and then my friends start calling me. My family starts calling me. Did you see? I was like, no, I haven't seen anything yet. I'm just waking up. And they're like, Elon responded to you. I was like, oh, cool. So I look at it, and he's like, oh, apologies, take care of that. Something along the take care of that right away. And that's what I was like, oh, man, maybe these are actual, these are legit calls. So I get back to the calls, and they're like, yeah, come to the dealership, or they're not really dealerships, whatever you call it.
Yeah, like showrooms.
Showroom, there you go.
Yeah.
Come to the showroom, and we'll take care of you. So I show up, and they did take care of me. Cool story, bro. I was hoping to meet Elon a couple of times, but it never actually happened.
Yeah, he's been in the crowd at a couple of events. Maybe Joe Rogan did put the good word in.
Yeah. I got invited to these like the taxi whatever, but I was like, bro, I gotta train.
Priorities.
I got to make sure I'm training, and I can't skip that. So I those were a couple of opportunities I could have met him, but I skipped on it. But whatever. Hopefully in the future.
As someone that's been in the UFC for a long time, what have you found have been the biggest changes? You guys just signed a $7.7 billion deal to be on Paramount Plus. It's become a mainstream sport. What have you seen that's been like the massive changes been in the sport so long?
I think since Reebok, before Reebok, we could wear whatever we want.
Sponsors, yeah.
We had sponsors, and you could just about have anything on your shorts. So
yeah,
that was a big change. You could clearly see it right away. And then the other one was starting to get these deals. First it was Fox, then it was ESPN. We started to become so much more mainstream, and just the amount of eyes we started getting. I remember when I was there first, and I was, when you're single, social media is like you got to get your numbers up. And the UFC is all about it too. But I was like, I'm trying to get my numbers up, and then when ESPN came in, I was like, we blew up really quickly, and I started getting more followers, and then I got married, and I was like, this is
so people were flooding the DMs when you were single.
Yeah. So this is trash now. It's useless. But yeah, those are the two biggest things I would say. They had us dressed differently and more professional for sure, and then I would say the amount of eyes we started getting on us, because the product the UFC has, they didn't change a whole lot. You show up on Tuesdays or Mondays and check in, do all that stuff. Everything's still the same, and they do it very well. Like, bro,
best in the game.
It's not even close. Because I've been to other shows, I've cornered people in other shows. It's not even close. So they're the best in the game in that. And then the production, you start to see you'll see Megan Oliveira. She'll be right next to the fighters as the fighters are coming out to make sure the sound is good on that. That stuff is really impressive. They're looking. Typically, when you get comfortable, things go wrong. But the UFC is in a comfortable spot, but they're still staying on top of it. So it's either Dana or Hunter or whoever it is, but he's staying on everybody's ass, and you can tell that's making a difference.
It's still innovating.
Yeah.
Now, when you're at your peak, or when you're at your top of your run, I think you won 7-8 fights in a row. Now, at that same time, Islam, I think, had 7. Charles had 8. So, how important is timing in the UFC? Because usually, if a fighter goes on a 7-fight win streak, they're getting a title shot straight away.
Yeah.
But that never came your way. So, how unlucky were you? And did you ever think the UFC were going to come around with a title shot during that time?
So when I was at, I think after I beat Gamrot, that was 8, and the problem was Volkanovski. Volkanovski steps in and he's like, I want to fight for the title.
I apologize on behalf of
I accept your apology. I'll have to talk to Volk about it too. But at that time, he was the pound for pound king.
Yeah.
So it's like, who's gonna deny that? And I was so angry about it that I was like, you know what? I'll just take another fight. But I shouldn't have done that. I should have been patient, and I think I would have eventually got my title shot. So definitely unlucky timing-wise, but then there's also the fact that I was very prideful. So there was a combination of things.
Because a similar thing now, Ilya came up like Volk did, and then now there's this shuffle of fighters that don't know what they're doing, and then someone like either Gaethje or even Arman, they might not get a title shot if things don't play out their way. So do you have any advice to them on what to do?
I would say, because their situation is a little bit different. I was back then. I was a clear-cut contender. These guys, just because Arman messed up, it's not so clear. Sometimes patience is the key, but sometimes if you can jump in there and get a quick fight, that might be even better.
Stay active.
Yeah, stay active. I don't know. I think for Justin,
he's been threatening retirement almost a little bit.
If you're on that. In that place, maybe patience is the better way to go. And then Arman, I don't know, bro. It's a hard thing to say because I would say maybe be patient, but that doesn't always work out either. You end up, they end up getting mad at you and then saying these are your only options. So
they sound like they're mad at him as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I think. Just fight.
Let's get in there.
That's our life, man. Fight anyways. You can't. 100%. It's not guaranteed you'll get a title shot, but can't go wrong with what you're supposed to do, and that's fighting.
And last one, I just want to get your thoughts on the new deal with the UFC. It's $7.7 billion. It was all over the news this week. Have you heard anything as a fighter? Because I think Dana did say that fighter pay will be increasing. So
bonuses will definitely.
Bonuses are going up. So have you heard anything about the deal?
Yeah, not really, because I heard bonuses are going up, but. What does that mean? Do our contracts just immediately go up? Because I don't think that's going to happen, right?
And pay-per-view points, are they going to be a thing anymore?
I don't think so, right? Is there going to be pay-per-views?
Just streaming,
Unless there's someone who's very special, then they'll have pay-per-view. From what I understood, they're keeping the pay-per-view thing going for WWE or WWF.
On ESPN, WWE.
Yeah. So I think that's still got the pay-per-view model, but not so much MMA. So. I am curious to see how they would do the math. And
will they communicate that down usually? Like I don't know how it's gone from Fox to ESPN. Do they communicate that to the fighters and the managers?
Not particularly. Maybe managers a little bit. The trick with the UFC is they have a really good relationship with, I would say, 95% of the managers, and so they will tell the managers what they want, and the managers will come and tell us. But typically, they give them whatever information they want. They don't give them extra, or So I'm still waiting on the information. So I think they said that this deal came about really quickly. So I think the UFC is trying to figure out too. My thing would be, they had the antitrust lawsuits, all these things. My thing would be, they have to do it in a way where they're not going to get in trouble again. So all this has to go into play. Bro, I'm thinking of like 2 things, 3 things. I'm sure Dana, Hunter are thinking of like 100 things that they have to deal with. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen. I think we'll get some information on this in the next couple of months.
Do you think ultimately positive for the sport?
Has to be, right?
$7 billion, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, more money, possibly no pay-per-view, so they won't focus on putting on bigger fights because, they'll just contender fights. That's the bigger fight. That could be a cool thing, right? That makes the number 1 contenders more concrete, and, you can't have somebody like that's outside of the top 5 getting a title shot. That could be a cool thing, but I don't know. I don't know because... the UFC says, but we still need the views, so who knows?
Yeah, well, Benny, I want to thank you for your time. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah,
I hope we see you in Sydney, Australia pretty soon, and we're very keen for your next fight.
If it's February, I would definitely consider it.
Let's go. Let's speak to the managers, Hunter.
I'll let the Assyrian community know you're coming.
Yeah.
There you go.